Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and if there's one food I really love, it's a potato. So today, I want to show y'all some ways that I cook up a potato every way I can think of. And the first one I want to share with y'all is my oven-fried potato wedges. One taste of these spicy spuds, and you won't want a regular French fry again. And then I'm going to be sharing a recipe for a deliciously silky potato soup with shrimp. And potatoes for dessert. That's right. I'm gonna fix you my out-of-this-world, old-fashioned sweet potato pie that's sweeter than your mother-in-law's love. So y'all please join me in the kitchen today, because I want to teach you just how precious a potato can be. Guess what this is, y'all? It's a hot potato. Actually, it's not a hot one yet. How many times have I told y'all what my favorite food is? Well, today is all about hot potatoes. And I am as excited as a June bride in a feather bed, I'm telling you. Because I love potatoes. And I think maybe one of the reasons why I love potatoes so is because my very favorite condiments go along with these, which is mayonnaise and butter. So the first recipe that I want to share with y'all is an oven-fried potato. Now we're going to take just a regular bacon potato, and I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to third each half, cutting it into 3 wedges. Let me move that bowl so that you can see. Okay, now in this dish, I'm going to mix some mayonnaise. People used to think I was crazy eating mayonnaise with my French fries, but you know, once I get folks to taste them, they agree that it's just delicious. All right, now I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder and 1/2 teaspoon of house seasoning. Just going to mix that up, and I'm going to add a little hot sauce to give it just a little heat. Now I've sprayed this pan as well so they won't stick. And we're going to just coat our potatoes in this mayonnaise mixture. And then we're going to, doesn't it look good? Could eat them raw. And then we're going to take our potatoes and we're going to dip them into a cornbread dressing mix. You can find this in the, I can't remember what section in the grocery store this is in. It may be in your bacon department. And this is great because if you're doing this for dinner, you can do it up early in the day. It'd be yummy with steaks or char-grilled chicken on the grill or pork chops or ribs. Right there, that's the last one. All right, I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little pepper because Michael does like hot stuff. I think you're going to love this recipe. Now we're going to stick this in the oven and we're going to bake it for about 50 minutes, believe it or not. But we want them toasty and brown and crusty. Actually, before we put this one in, I've got a pan already ready, and here we're going to take it out so you can see the final product. Don't those look out of this world? And all right, let's move on. This is such a nice change from an ordinary baked potato. So love potatoes. Look at him. See what the mayonnaise did to him. And you see I've got a little dish of mayonnaise. Y'all just have to try this. This tastes like chicken that's been fried. And I've got to put these down because I could stand up here and eat them all day. And I really, really want to show y'all the next dish coming up. I'm going to clean up, and when I see you back here, I'm going to show you how to make a quick, simple, delicious, out-of-this-world shrimp and potato soup. So y'all don't go anywhere, and I'll see you back in the kitchen in like 2 minutes. I've been waiting 4 years, y'all, to do a show on my favorite food, potatoes. I just adore them. Now, the next dish is called potato shrimp soup, and our water is boiling for our shrimp, so I'm gonna run back over here, put our shrimp in, and I'm using a medium-sized shrimp in the jacket. These are easy peel shrimp. I'm gonna just let these cook until they turn pink, which will be about, for this size shrimp, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Not long, because you remember they're gonna go through another cooking process in the soup. So just a couple of minutes. All right, the half a stick of butter that we put in here is melted. Now I'm gonna add 2 diced fresh carrots and 1 diced onion. And we're just gonna let that saute. You know, I don't think today's the day to cut back. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that other half a stick of butter in. That looked way too skimpy. All right, now I'm using just a regular Idaho potato, and I've got some cut right there, and I've got 1 more to go in the pan. And we're just gonna dice them just like we would like for potato salad size. And these will cook in about, gosh, these will probably be done in like 15 minutes. So this is gonna be a pretty fast, simple soup to do. All right, we'll just add those to the rest of our potatoes. We're just gonna saute that until the onions are just a little bit tender. All right, and our shrimp should be about ready. Yeah, see how nice and pink those are? And you can see where I deveined them, where they're already pulling apart. You know, the secret to cooking good shrimp is, first of all, having a good product. You always want to start with a good fresh shrimp. We're so lucky in Savannah that we have access to such wonderful fresh shrimp. One thing that you'll always want to remember, y'all are probably tired of hearing me say it, but you never want to overcook your shrimp, because they'll almost become like the texture of an eraser if you overcook them. You want to just get them there, which only takes just a couple of minutes, especially if they're the smaller shrimp like I'm cooking today. And you can see these have been cut down the back. Just all you have to do is take a knife, cut through the shell down the center, remove the vein, which is nothing but a sand vein. People can get a little squeamish about that, but it's nothing but the sand that's becoming trapped in the shrimp. So you can see how easy that peeled. So good. It's gonna make a fabulous pot of soup. All right, our carrots and our onions are nice and tender. Now I'm gonna add a little flour to the pot so that it will make our soup nice and thick. And by adding it this way, we don't have to worry about it lumping or anything like that. Gertie, guess what I'm making? I'm making a pot of soup. Now, how am I gonna feed you soup? I guess with a spoon? All right, so I've got that mixed up. I've got 4 cups of milk that's just been heating on the stove over here, and I'm gonna add that to our pot. And over in this measuring cup, I've got 2 chicken bouillon cubes that I've dissolved in a half a cup of milk. So this is really gonna give it a nice nice kick. Now, if you've got some fresh chicken stock around, you can use that in the place of this. But in the meantime, we're gonna go with the chicken bouillon. All right. That looks so good. Now I'm just gonna add our potatoes, and we're gonna let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until the potatoes are nice and soft and almost mushing down, some of them. You know, if you don't have any shrimp, it would be wonderful to replace the shrimp with a fresh kernel corn. It would be so good, a corn and potato chowder. Oh, that looks delicious. So we're just gonna let that cook. I'm gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I'm gonna peel the shrimp, add them to our soup, and then you won't believe what I'm doing next. The potato just keeps getting sweeter. How about sweet potato pie? Hey y'all, in case you just joined me, in the last segment, I started making us a pot of potato and shrimp soup. And I'm so glad you showed up.
That's why I showed up. It's one of my favorites.
You smelled it, didn't you?
I did.
You're no better than Gertie. I'm fixing to add a cup of half and half now to our soup. And then as soon as Bobby finishes with the shrimp, we're gonna toss those in. I'm gonna season our pot with salt and pepper. Throw those shrimp in.
Sure.
Now, y'all, if you want to, you can chop these shrimp up, but since they're smaller, and I love to pop in a whole big shrimp in my mouth, so I'm leaving ours in here whole. How old were you when we had your tonsils out?
I was 14.
14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you were just chronic. The trivia question is, what soup would I make you when you were sick so often with tonsillitis?
Well, I remember you making me potato soup all the time as a kid.
All the time.
But I don't think we usually got shrimp in it.
No, we couldn't afford shrimp. You're very astute of you, son.
So my memory is pretty good.
Your memory is excellent. All right.
God, that looks good.
Doesn't that look delicious? This is ready. Do you want some soup?
I want some so bad.
Well, I'm going to bowl you up some.
All right, then.
Okay. And I'm going to make yours all the way now, okay?
Please.
Doesn't that look delicious?
It looks great.
All right, now look at this. You don't like cheese, do you?
Just a little.
Doesn't that look yummy? And we cannot forget our green vegetable. You know how I feel about vegetables.
Well, I will work around it.
You'll work around it. And while you're sampling that soup, look, Gertie knows you're fixing to put a spoon in your mouth.
Back up, Gertie.
Doesn't the bacon just
It's
make
so great.
it?
And Mama hadn't had it in so long. It reminds me of when I was a kid. All right, I'm gonna go sit down and eat my soup.
Okay.
Jamie,
Enjoy, son.
look what you're not having.
Some things never change, do they? Doesn't matter how old they get. All right, let's move on to an old-fashioned sweet potato pie. I adore sweet potatoes. And to our 2 cups of sweet potatoes, I'm gonna add a cup of sugar and 2 eggs. And then we're just gonna beat this with a hand mixer until it's nice and mixed up. And these eggs are gonna make those sweet potatoes like set up, and they're gonna be so delicious. All right, to our sweet potatoes and sugar and eggs, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring and a half a stick of melted butter. Put in a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and we're just gonna blend these together. And then we're gonna slowly add 1 cup of milk. And for today's pie, I'm gonna cheat and go the easy way with a frozen pie crust. If you're having baked sweet potatoes for dinner and you've got them left over, make sure you have a sweet potato pie the next night. I like that so much better than boiling them. When you boil them, the water just kind of breaks down the strength. So this is just straight potatoes baked in the oven. Now we're just gonna pour this in our pie crust. I have this on a sheet. Just in case it makes a mess and runs over, it'll all be caught on the sheet. It's really so good. So we're gonna put this in the oven at 350. All right, so that'll be ready in about 35 minutes. And there's nothing better, there's nothing better than a sweet potato pie.
You got two
unless
sons.
it's a sweet potato pie with meringue on it.
I didn't get any soup.
Well, listen, son, I didn't know where you were. And listen, I tell you what your brother sang for his supper. You sing for yours now. No.
You want me to cook, not sing?
I've heard you sing, son. Finish making this meringue. Now just beat those until they're soft peaks and slowly add the sugar. And I'm going to be
This doesn't look like potato soup with cheese and bacon on it.
And then you can have some soup. How's that? I just want to get this mess cleaned up. All right, let's get your sugar in there. We want this to turn into meringue. I've cooked a couple of pies, Jamie, and I've got one in the oven, and this one is cooled and ready. Let me show you how.
Show me how.
Sometimes you got to treat it rough. Slap it around a little bit.
I'm familiar.
What is that supposed to mean? You better love me, you better love me.
So you want me to top this?
Yeah. But this is so, so good. You know, lots of times I'll serve my pumpkin pies with heavy cream, you know, sweetened whipped cream. But, you know, this is a nice change. And the one thing you'll want to make sure, son, I'm sure you know this, but when you're meringuing your pies, you want to really seal those edges good because the syrup from the meringue will...
Bubble over.
You know what, yeah, and it'll cause the meringue to pull away.
You want me to put that in the oven for you?
Yeah, we'll put this in the oven and let it bake for, 10 or 12 minutes, something like that. And when we come back, I've got some tips for you on another good something that you can do with that sweet potato. And then the boys and I are going to taste this pie. All right, so you want me to dip you up a bowl of soup?
Please, with bacon and cheese.
We'll see y'all back in a few minutes. I want to share with y'all one of my favorite ways to eat sweet potatoes. So simple and easy. You can have a homemade sweet potato chip in just a matter of a couple of minutes. The only thing you'll want to do is make sure you wash your potatoes and scrub them good. Slice them fairly thin, and we're going to drop these in hot grease that's around 350 degrees. It'll only take a couple of minutes for them to cook. You can see there immediately, look at the beautiful color they're turning as soon as I dropped them down in that grease. Keep those potatoes moving. And these look like they're just about ready. To finish up your sweet potatoes, this decision is going to be left up to you. Now, I'm going to do half in my house seasoning, which will make it savory, which is salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And this end, because I like my sweet potato chips sweet, I'm gonna sprinkle with sugar. And no matter which way you try them, I think you're gonna love them. They're just delicious. Guys, I got y'all some pie ready.
Ooh.
Oh, pie.
Ooh.
Pie.
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 Pie. Pie. Pie.
Pie.
Where's mine?
Come on.
I've raised a couple of nuts, y'all. All right, there's your piece of pie, son. Here's your piece of pie. I want y'all to try the sweet potato chips. I know how much you love those, Bobby. And the potato wedges, oh my gracious, dipped in mayonnaise and the cornbread crumbs and the potato soup and the shrimp. And did y'all taste, is it good?
That's so wonderful.
Good. I want to have some with you. So if you're tired of serving up that ordinary baked potato or those French fries, I hope that you'll try some of these delicious potatoes. I think you're gonna love them. And until next time, y'all, the boys and I wish y'all best dishes in love from our tater kitchen to yours. Speaking of tater.